Hi, everybody. It's Ryan Hall here for PXF, and I feel like it's been a while since I recorded, but I guess not really. But it's just been such a busy month for me. I'm back to teaching high school after my 14 months off, which was fantastic, but now I'm back to reality. And um, I teach tennis at school, and that's in September, so I haven't been playing a lot of poker, unfortunately. And the W coops, a lot of them were 2 days, so I couldn't really play them all. I guess I could have just called in sick if I made a day two or whatever. But it's awkward with the one course I'm teaching, environmental studies, because we go on a lot of field trips, and if I'm not there, then it's just it doesn't really work. So unfortunately, I barely played any W coops, so I don't really have one that's worth recording. But what I do have for you is a 109 Turbo, and this one's pretty good because I don't want to spoil it for you. You'll have to just watch it. Anyway, I remember nothing about it, however, except the end. So let's go through all the hands and see what's up. I'm going to try to show every hand. So we start at 3,000 chips. This is one of those ones at 5:15 p.m. on Stars, and they get big prize pools. And this one actually may have been during S Coop as well. So this guy's got to be strong here, betting into 4 players. You'd think, anyway, after raising under the gun. He's probably at a minimum going to have a hand like Ace Queen when he bets that strong there, and there's a very good chance he's got 2 pair set. He's just winning all the pots. The GAW. Do we know anybody at the table? Egaliteri's been around. Overall, though, this is surely not a bad table to be on. Right, so we can tell already that this guy's probably pretty active. So we pick up Ace-8 of diamonds in the big blind, and I'm certainly going to defend this, even though he's raising under the gun. We're very deep. We can make a hand that can make the nuts here, and we don't have to go crazy if we only flop an ace. So we'll call, and that's about the worst flop that we could possibly get. So we'll just fold. No need to go crazy. No need to win every pot. Whoa. That's just silly with ace queen there. When the guy four bets you, like if you decide to three bet it, when the guy four bets you, just get out of the way. You don't need that in your life. I guess if you're feeling really frisky and you think you might be doing it wide, you could five bet fold. If you get all your chips in there with ace queen, though, you're absolutely praying that they've got jacks. I decided to just fold ace 10 here. Sort of a crap hand. If it was suited, I would definitely call, though. BBB is a very good player. Is that, you know what? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. It's not who I thought it is, but he's definitely been around. Oh, he's gone. What happened? Oh, well. Well, I think we're going to play this. I raise, he folds. Gonna open this on the button. Never thrilled about opening a hand like that, but you got the button and you got an ace, and that's really all you need. Is this the guy, I'm the Nuts one? Is that the guy who's a Supernova Elite or something? I'm not even sure. Everybody's the Nuts. Just everybody. See all these guys, they've all got basically a different version of the same name. I'm really glad when I signed up for Stars that I just used my own name. Because you can't change it once you sign up. And yeah, if I'd had something that I thought might have been cool when I was younger and that I just don't think is cool at all now, yeah, I would have been disappointed. It's like getting that tattoo and then you get old and you don't want a tattoo of a Smurf anymore. That's not something you want in your life. That's kind of how it's like with your poker username. When that guy checked, I would stab just about anything when he checks pre-flop. He's basically saying, I either have a hand that I want to pot control with, or you could call with Jack 9 offsuit there, but no, I didn't. Or he's got a hand that he just doesn't want to c-bet and he's willing to give up with. So another thing you can do when somebody is out of position and they're the pre-flop raiser and they check pre-flop, you can just fire 3 almost no matter what comes. And at some point, they're very likely to fold. Now it works every time until it doesn't work, but it works enough that it's probably profitable. You just have to be really careful if something comes down. Like a lot of times when low cards come down and people take that line, they'll have a hand like ace king. So you got to be careful if like an ace comes down or something like that. We're not getting a lot of hands, but at the start of the tournament, it just doesn't matter when there's no antes. It's really not taking anything out of your stack. Kings. He's got to have kings. Yeah, like it's just his hands face up. I would have felt sick with 3s there, but I wouldn't have folded, but I would have felt sick. And no, I didn't remember that he had kings. This tournament was months ago. It was probably half a year ago. It was definitely before I went to Vegas. And today that I'm recording it is October 9th, so I literally remember nothing about it. Shall we defend? Shall we defend? Oh, we don't need to. I'm not going to defend this out of position unless there's other people involved. Just don't want to play this hand the worst spot on the table against one player. Just don't need it. Yeah, I raise, he 3-bet. I've got like pretty close to the bottom of my opening range, so there's no reason to get fancy. Just fold. And people out of the big blind aren't 3-betting light as often. A lot of times, if they think they're good players, they'll just try to see a flop out of the big blind and outplay you that way. And most people think they're better players than they are. Anyway, I have a pretty good hand here. I've flopped second pair, I have flopped an open-end straight draw, and I have flopped a backdoor flush draw to the jack of clubs. I think this would be a really, really good hand to check behind. It's betting here. You can get value, but it's somewhat hard. I guess you could get value from a queen or something like that. Although with so many high cards on the board, I don't know what queen we're really getting value from. Ace queen and queen 9 have us beat. So yeah, I guess that's not happening. And really, if you bet and get raised here, then it's just a real shame. You have to start calling and you're probably behind, and yeah, it's just not good. So just check behind here, control the pot. That's a good card for us. We're going to bet now, And he folds. He's let out, representing the flush, and he's got it. Pretty tough to fold King Jack there. When he leads again on the river, there's a pretty good chance he's got it, though. I'm going to close TweetDeck because it's beeping too much. Do we want that on? Do we want that off? I'm going to turn it off because it just slows everything down. Now it doesn't want to go to the next hand. Here we go. We're into antes now. I still don't want to play ace-9 under the gun. It's just such a terrible hand. Unsure what he was check calling there. Maybe a 10 or something like that. Maybe a bear 10. Not going to defend 10-3 offsuit because it's trash. I could 3-bet there with 10-8 suited if I was feeling frisky. I just don't see the need. I'll usually fold that. Same thing there. Ace-2 offsuits, really, it's kind of a bad hand, so I'll fold that the vast majority of the time. I can hear sheets saying in the back of my head right now that this is a profitable shove, and it may well be, but here's what I decide to do. I just bin it. Just can't bring myself to shove that. I don't know. If it's profitable, it's probably not all that profitable. Of course, you don't need it to be. Maybe I should look at that one closer, but folding can't be that bad there with 4s. Ace King royal draw with top pair. Doesn't get there. Kind of sucks for him. You could open this if you wanted to. You could. Wonder how many people just turn the video off. Oh wow, I would have got it in so good too. No. I just, we had a little bit more than 20 big blinds, under the gun +1, 6s. It's just, if anybody flats you, you're just sick. If they're in position, you're just almost never going to flop a 6. I'm all for defending light against min raises, but queen 3 offsuit against under the gun, not happening. So my plan is to blind away down to an ante and then make the big comeback. Who knows? Maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's what happens. I don't think so, though. Ace rag in the cutoff. Awkward stack. 2 guys can shove on me. Just don't need to open it. Don't like this guy's min raise. Yeah, he got what he deserved. If you're gonna steal, that's fine. Make it 350 at least, 375, 400. Blind on blind, you've got to do that. 7-5 suited, we just don't have the stack to be able to open that. He's raised. Shoving here would just be suicidal. Bin it. Keep getting these small pairs in spots that we can't quite play them. He should be defending very wide there against a cutoff raise, by the way, against a min raise. He's getting better than 4-1. You're going to win the hand a lot more often than that. And I know it's not that simple, but assuming you're not an idiot post flop, you should be able to make it into a profitable play with most hands there. All right, I've had enough. I've had enough folding. Boom. That's right. Sixes is a monster against a button raise there. Look at this flat. Obviously, he's terrible. Just shouldn't be flatting there, really. Like, just don't have the stack to be doing that. Easy shove here. 15 big blinds. Ace jack against the hijack. See, and all of a sudden, after folding all of those hands, we win 2 hands, which are really nothing hands, and we're 865 chips above the start stack. I'm just saying. Pocket eights, just ram them here. Get called by ace king. Let's win a flip. Eights everywhere. All right. I do like just jamming them there. I don't like trying to raise call eights there. I would raise call like a better hand. Like I'd probably do it with nines, but eights I just want to get in. Queen jack, I'm just gonna fold here. Like if nobody's gonna flat you, then raise calling eights is probably fine. But then people are gonna flat you, and it's not like eights is a bad hand, but you really don't want, say, queen jack to flat you and start playing flop with you. You'd rather just hands like that fold. And people are defending the big blind very, very wide these days. Just can't open 5-4 suited there. You're crazy if you open that. Almost everybody can shove on you. And you have no blockers. This shanking you guy, he's been around, by the way. So we've got a couple choices here. We can 3-bet and go with it. Now, it is over 30 big blinds effective if we do that. Now, nines is a pretty good hand, though, so it's definitely an option. Or we could flat and play the kind of more conservative route. And I'm pretty sure I just flat here. It's a great flop for us. He checks behind, so I'm pretty sure he has a big ace. So we definitely want to lead here because he's probably got 2 overcards, and he probably, if he's got an ace, then a 4 is going to help him too. So, we want to lead pretty big here. I'd probably go 800. I hope I did. 682 is kind of not enough, but now we can go for value. Hopefully he'll put us on missed hearts or something like that. Probably bet about half the pot. And that's exactly what he had. Easy game. Backs always drills my head. into my head, if you call the turn, you have to call the river. It depends on what the river is, though. There's obviously going to be some rivers that change things. Like one of the flush draws that I could have had there got there. So the only thing he was really beating there was missed hearts or a total bluff. Raise, re-raise, I got fours. This is just a trivial binning. That's just a setup hand. They're both going to get it in for sure. That guy's been around too, but gone now. Uh-oh, I hear crying upstairs. So ace-10, we got two options here. We can raise call or we can shove. I kind of just like shoving. What is my 1-year-old screaming about? I'm surprised I min raised that. I may not have seen the stacks behind. Now my 3-year-old's getting in some sort of trouble. He's usually really good to our 1-year-old, though. And none of you care. I understand that. Ace-9, we've already talked about that. Blech. Whoa, that guy shoved like 9 bigs. You can have a fold range there, though, but if you get any less than that, and there's no raise fold range at that point. Like 8 bigs, I'm never raise folding hijack against cutoff. Not defending 7-2 offsuit. That would send a hell of a message, though, if you did. That would be a real slap in somebody's face if you defended that hand and then won the pot. I'm not doing anything with 10-6 offsuit there. Just fold. You're out of position. Don't need to play it. He's got a fair number of chips. He's in the hijack +2. But this is a turbo. And in a turbo, I feel like you need to take spots like this. So I shove. And he goes away. I think that's a spot that you might need to take in any tournament, to be honest. But especially in a turbo. In a turbo, if you're unsure, you should probably just go with it. Which might make those... I'm still thinking about those 4s earlier when I had them in the cutoff against the hijack race. That's a tough one. Like, 3 people left to act behind, too. This is a spot where you should not go with 3s because 3s aren't very good, and we both have a lot of chips. You could 3-bet them, but then, like, what are you doing if he shoves? And he's going to shove ace queen and ace king all day, so, It is pocket 3s after all. It's just not a very good hand. That was a sneaky check behind, Dereemzu. Sneaky check behind. Make a little note on him that he gets tricky. That's an easy shove and an easy reshove there. Once you get 6 big blinds in a turbo, you've got to just start ripping it in. Like king 9 from any position. has got to go in there. What on earth happens in this hand? Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember this. I thought it was really close. I thought it was really close. You're getting better than 2-1, and let's face it, he's probably not got as dominated because there's some twos that he's going to be folding, and yeah, like I think you just have to go with this, knowing that you're behind and hoping that you've got two live cards, and we didn't, so we just got there with a straight. Get out of here. Pocket nines, we are really hoping for action from Lena, who is a reg, who is around a lot. But we got action from Filibus, which is just fine. Not the hand we want to see. But it works out. This guy to our right's got a monster stack. I feel like we're doing pretty well here, but well, he just lost some. Standard. Ooh, that sucks for him. When you've got that small stack, 86 chips, you just have to get any two cards in, because you got to remember the ante's eating away at your hand, or eating away at your stack. I don't care what anybody says, it's important to play stacks like that properly. You're simply losing value if you don't. As long as you've got chips, you've got a chance to get back in. The power of doubling is very powerful. Bax won a bracelet when he was down to, like, I don't know, he was down to something absurd like an ante or a blind the first day. Just don't give up. Don't be a quitter. Try to always play your stack properly, no matter how frustrated you are and how few chips you have. It's one thing that I feel that I do pretty well. This guy's been around to ship that ish. Well, finally we got something. Look at this. We got a raise and a little cheeky re-raise there. Well, we have ace king. There's pretty much 7,000 in the pot. We're just not going anywhere. Just shove. You are dreaming if you think ace queen's ahead there. Absolutely dreaming. It's too bad. Stacks seemed a little small to be just opening ace queen there. I don't know. I might just shove it. Yeah. Oh no, he's got a fair bit. I guess you can open it. All right. On that exciting note, let's stop there, and I'll be back next week for part 2 of the Stars 109 Turbo. Until then, have a great week.